Well, get the show going. So when I start the show on hey TikTok and Twitch, when I start the show on Twitch, I play a little song. So let's see if you guys can hear it. I play a little song for these guys. But we might just drop into it. Do we got time tonight? Do we got time tonight for the song? I think we do. TikTok, what's going on, man? We're gonna get everybody in here. Get everybody in here. You know, here we go. It's a little song we have. I don't know why it's not loud, but it's cool. I should have Bluetooth that. People fall in as they fall in. Hey, TikTok. So TikTok, tonight's show also, if you are here, you know what? Tonight's show is called, I forgot the title of tonight's show thing.
Late nights, deep thoughts, manhood made from lessons taught.
Tonight's show is called Alignment Over Attraction, the 3 pillars of a compatible relationship. We're going to talk from experience, and my phone is about to die. Just great. Just great. So if you're on TikTok, go to my Twitch.
To the mic, we keep it grown, keep it right. If you're looking for the path you lost, we bring the light into your life. Talking with Maserati.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the 3 pillars of a compatible relationship. Now, these are some good pillars. Let me actually, we'll stop this song. You know, I like this song, but we're going to jump right into it because actually this is good and I don't want to lose my momentum. So we're going to talk about the 3 pillars of a compatible relationship, right? So we're going to talk about alignment over attraction, right? You know, why compatibility outweighs chemistry. So a lot of people think chemistry is cool, right? You know, you got chemistry, you like, it's a fire desire, you like someone, they like you, right? Attraction initiates relationships. So normally attraction, when you see someone, that initiates the relationship, right? So when you guys see each other, you guys like each other, that initiates the relationship, right? But alignment sustains them. So when you're aligned in your goals and your joys and your passion, that's what keeps the relationship going, right? So attraction initiates the relationship while alignment sustains these. Right now, why are we talking about this, right? I was at work. Was that yesterday? I think yesterday I was at work, right? And one of my coworkers, she was talking about how she was dating this guy, and she just didn't like him, but she was just dating him because she thought he was fine, right? And so she said one day she just broke up with him, blocked his numbers, all this other stuff, and he did the same to her, right? And so what I was telling her is the reason why she was so ready to break up with him so easily is because they never had nothing compatible with each other. They weren't compatible. She was just doing it to do it, right? It was just passing time. And a lot of people hop in relationships and just pass time like this, right? Because it's easy. You just do it, right? You just do it to do it. Sorry, I drink a lot of water. I try to hydrate, right? So compatibility is not seamless, but a shared direction. So what happened is this, right? When you guys are compatible, you have a shared direction. Like you guys know where you're going together. You guys know what y'all want to do in life. You know, it's just something in unison. Like it's in unison. It's like you guys want to do this. This is what you guys want to do. It's not abstract. It's not like, hey, I want to jump off a bridge. Hey, I want to swim underwater. Nah, it's not weird like that. You guys know what you want to do together, right? And so what I want to talk about is a lot of long-term relationships. You know, a lot of long-term relationships have failures that stem from ignoring the early misalignments, which are red flags. We call them red flags. I say misalignments, but we call them red flags, guys, right? So a lot of times early in relationships, we miss these red flags, right? You know, we miss those red flags early on. So when you first meet somebody, you're not thinking with this head, you're thinking with the lower head, right? So when you first meet this chick, right? She got ass, she got titties, she's cute, her vibe is there. You really just think about smashing, right? You not understanding that y'all not even compatible. She's loud, she's rude, she's a user. You not seeing that because you just want to hit. You seeing all the other wrong things, right? And like a female, The dude is obnoxious. He's self-centered. He's ego. He's narcissistic, but he pays for everything. He gives her everything she wants. He compliments her a lot. So guess what she does? She's going to entertain this relationship. Why? Because he's giving her everything that she wants, or at least she thinks she wants, right? So what happens with this is, right, is that a lot of times people go into these relationships that are not compatible, and then they fall out with each other, right? So we're going to talk about, and this, like I said, this is just from my personal experience in this conversation I had at work, right? And this conversation at work was actually kind of good, actually. So as we fall in here, we'll talk about this, right? Hold on, let me get my chat box up. Let me get the chat box up, right? So we'll talk about this, right? And so what I want to start with, right, to all y'all, and it's Friday night, so if you're not out party getting drunk, thank you here. As always, shameless plug, go check out the new Maserati and Slim podcast episode. It is up right now. Go check it out. Go check it out. It's an evil world.
It's an evil world we live in.
It's an evil world we live in. Hey, and we're just talking about it, right? So now, I'm introduced the 3 pillars of a compatible relationship, right? And these are just something I came up with that I felt like if these 3 things are not aligned, it's going to be kind of hard for you guys to kind of see eye to eye, like to really like to be locked in with each other, right? So the first thing I'm going to tell you guys, right? The first thing you guys got to be aligned on is family. Now, what I mean by family, how's their family dynamics? Do they want a family? Do they believe in putting family first? Do they spend time with their family? How's the relationship with their mom? How's the relationship with their dad? How's the relationship with their siblings? These are key components into a good compatible relationship. Why? You be like, why is that, Maserati? Because here's the thing. When it's time to spend time with their family, you know, when you have to spend time with your family, what are you guys going to do? You guys going to alternate? It's going to be all about them, or they're going to be selfish, or they're going to understand, hey, we got to split time one holiday with your family, one holiday with my family, right? You have to understand, do they want a family? Do she want kids? Do he want kids? Being someone that dates, a lot of women don't want kids. So you gotta understand that. Like you might get with a woman who don't want kids, and you're a man who wants kids, and now y'all arguing over having kids. When you could have stopped at the beginning, she don't want kids, you should have known that. Remember, compatibility. Early on, you gotta understand that. So one of the first pillar is family values. Family, right? So you gotta find out where they feel with their family. That's the first one, right? The second one, religious or spiritual beliefs. The reason why religious and spiritual beliefs are so big, because you have some women that are Catholic. So if they're Catholic, they want to get married to somebody. They might be Muslim. They might be Judean. They might be monk. They might be atheist. You have to get that out early. You have to get that out early. How some people will act. I'm big on this. So number 2 is big for me. I say that because if a person is not religious or spiritual, they will commit acts with no conscience, no guilt, no remorse. They'll just do things and not care. There's no higher power to them. There's no one to answer to. So they'll just do things without no concern how it affects you and other people. So they'll just do things, right? And I'm not a big fan of that. So you have to be careful when you're dealing with people like that, right? So we've already went over family values, and we're going to get deeper into each one of them. I'm just letting you guys know the 3 pillars of a compatible relationship. Right? So the first one's family values. The second one's religious and spiritual beliefs. The third one has a duality to it, but also you can kind of shape it how you want. It's career visions and work ethic, right? Career visions can be ambition. It could be entrepreneurship. It could be working a job. It could be getting a degree. But where are their career goals and how do they align with yours? Because money is a major issue, and I'm not talking about Miami. Money is a major issue, right? When you get married, when you're single, when you're dating, when you have a long-term relationship, when you have a partnership, whatever you're doing, money is very important. Things you need to do cost money. Things you want to do cost money. When you're with someone, it's going to cost money. It's not free. I don't care what they say. Love is not free. Love is not free. I'm telling you that right now. So when you hear that, right? Career. Are your career goals compatible with theirs? Are you doing what they want to do, or are you doing what you want to do, right? So let's say you're a working man and you make enough money to have a housewife, but she doesn't want to be a housewife. She wants to work too. You might let this slide in the beginning, but when you have kids and want her to stay home, she's like, no, I want to work too. I don't want to stay home. This is going to be a problem with you guys. So remember, when you want a compatible relationship, the 3 things you want to look at is family, religion, and career, because those three things are going to be a very big component here. But we're going to dive off into this a little deeper, right? Now, let's start off with the pillar one, right? And guys, thank you for being here. This is all from personal experience that I found that if you use these three to see if you're compatible with someone in a relationship, it really does help. And I'm telling you, just it's the groundwork. If you do this, it'll help. So we're going to start first with this one, right? Family, right? Family shapes communication style, conflict resolution, and expectations. So how a person is with their family, like if someone's come from a family that yell a lot, they don't really talk their problems out, they're very dysfunctional. When you get in a relationship with them, they're going to be dysfunctional, right? Now, the influential upbringing, did they have two parents versus a single parent home, blended families or one-way families? Were they like, like different races, one race? Were they raised in the South? Was they raised in the East? Were they raised in the West? This matters because the ideology of their family, were they Christians, Baptist, Protestant, Catholic? Those things about their family is going to pour through them. So you got to know these things about their family. Was her father in her life? Was her mom in his life? What's his relationship with his mom? A man's relationship with his mom is very important, just like a daughter's relationship with her father is very important, and vice versa. This is why knowing their family situation is very important when the compatibility of a relationship. Now, the compatibility of a relationship in the family part also brings in boundaries. Boundaries. Does a person know boundaries with their family? Do they know boundaries with your family? Do they know how to set boundaries with their family? Meaning, their family does not go into your relationship, right? Now, when it comes to family, right? What are their views on marriage, children, elder care, financial support? Like, what do they think about that? How do they feel if your mom gets sick? Can she come live with you? What do they feel if your brother or sister gets sick? How do they feel about your family coming over, being a part of this and that? How do they feel about family? If you're an older gentleman and you marry a younger girl, does she want kids? All these things play a part when you're dealing with someone in a relationship that's compatible. You have to understand that, right? Now, here's some healthy indicators that you guys might be compatible on the family side. Mutual respect for others' family structures, right? So mutual respect for other family structures. What that means is this. You're okay with how they communicate or how their marriage roles are, or the marriage people in their family says this, they do that. You're okay with that, right? It's mutual respect. You guys see that. Shared expectation around boundaries. Like, okay, that's cool, right? Then your willingness to build around family culture together. So your willingness to say, hey, I don't know why my thing is messed up. We got to go to the Wi-Fi. There we go. And so the willingness to share cultures. I mean, you're okay blending. Like, you know what? I'll try this. I'll try that. That's really good for the family dynamic. You want to try that out. You want to actually bring that in because here, when you're willing to not compromise, but kind of meet halfway when it comes to the family dynamic, you're showing that you want to be a family. In all honesty, like you're like, I'm here to be a family. But what goes up must come down, champ. But what goes up must come down, champ. The red flags when your family values don't match. What are the red flags? When they prioritize their family's approval over relationship approvals. We've all had this before, where you're with someone and what their family thinks matters more than what you think. This is the worst thing you can ever be in, bro. When they care more about what their family think than what you think. They're letting their family dictate the relationship. Whatever their family says goes, and they're grown-ups. That is the worst thing you have. Then it's disrespect or disregard for the way you was brought up. So this comes a lot in interracial marriages and interracial relationships when they don't see your struggle or identify with your cultural humility or what you've been through. They can't understand that, so they think it's not real. They don't understand it, so they just disregard it. They disrespect it. Or someone trying to be like you, like they start taking on your personalities and your traits based on them trying to be down. Don't understand that this is disrespectful, right? Conflicting expectations about parenting and no willingness to compromise. Meaning, you grew up in a strict house with discipline, and they grew up in a house where they just do whatever. And when you guys are raising kids together, like, hold on. No, you need to discipline them. No, I don't know. No, don't do discipline my kid like that. Hold on. You know what I'm saying? So then the avoidance of family conversations altogether. These are indicators. These are red flags. You know, these are red flags that you have to watch for when the family value becomes a very, very, very key part into a relationship. Why I say this, guys? Because if you're not, and this is just me as I got older, bro. If you're not dating to get married, then you should just be out here free frolicking, fucking. If you're not dating to get married, just fuck who you want, bro. Like, I'm just keeping it real. From me to you, bro. If you're not dating to get married, just fuck who you want to fucking go about your day. But if you're dating to get married, then this is for you. But if you're not dating to get married, it doesn't even matter what I'm saying right now. You can just do whatever you want and live your best life. Because these pillars ain't gonna matter if you just hitting and quitting and going about your business. So we gonna keep going. It's getting good right now. So now, the quote for the family is, you don't just marry a person, you marry the system that shaped them. So remember that. You just don't marry a person, you marry the system that shaped them. So whoever you marry, however they was raised, that's what you're marrying. So you gotta understand, if you marry someone who grew up in a dysfunctional, toxic, me, selfish system in their household, that's who you're marrying. But if you're marrying a kind, caring, nurturing, maternal person, that's who you're going to marry. You're going to marry a happy person. So you got to understand who you're marrying, the lineage, the lineage, the bloodline, who you're marrying. You got to dig a little bit and see who's in their family when you marry these people, because you just can't be laid up in a relationship with somebody else you don't know, right? Now, this is going to get a little tricky because everyone's different, but this is something that I really pay attention to when I'm dating, is the religion and spiritual alignment with a person. Now, I don't trip on a person being religious or spiritual, Judaist or Muslim, Arab, whatever your religion is, cool. My kind of drawback, my red flag is when someone tells me they're spiritual. Oh, I don't believe in this. I don't believe in this. Or when someone tells me they don't believe in God, they think Jesus wasn't real, or they just don't believe in God. Anything, when someone tells me they don't believe in God, it's a real red flag. On that date, that relationship, I pull back. I automatically pull back when they say that. Reason being is because you're telling me you don't have no discipline, no structure, you answer to no one, and you feel it's okay to do wrong and have no guilt about that. When someone tells me they don't believe in God, or they don't believe in no religion, they don't believe in nothing, they just are out here. Now, granted, you don't got to be a Christian. Granted, you ain't got to be a Muslim. You can do what you want. I'm for people finding their way. But in order to have a compatible relationship, you got to align spiritually, or with a spiritual alignment or a religious alignment, right? Why does that happen? It's because you got to have moral decision-making, conflict ethics, and lifestyle choices. These are very, very important. You got to have moral decision-making skills, conflict ethics, and lifestyle choices. These things are going to help you understand what's really going on. So if a person can't make certain lifestyle choices in the heat of the fire when they're doing certain things, they're just willy-nilly with stuff, it's not going to make sense to you. You're not going to understand it. You're going to be like, why'd you do that? They don't have a moral compass. When someone doesn't have religious or spiritual alignment, they don't have a moral compass. It's just, you know how like a compass has no directions, just spins? That's what it is, right? So when a person doesn't align with you spiritually or religiously, they don't have a moral compass, so their moral decision making is off, the conflict ethics off, their lifestyle choices off. The distinction between belief and practice are totally different. You could believe something but not practice it. You could practice something you don't believe as well, right? Now, spiritual leadership and spiritual leadership and expectations in a partnership is crazy, right? Because you can expect someone to show spiritual leadership in a partnership and not really give you the right spiritual leadership. Some people can lead you astray because anyone can be manipulated with spiritual leadership. Please don't get it confused, right? I don't care how many rocks you count, how many crystals you got. Anyone can be led astray. You have to pay attention to that, right? Now, this is how faith impacts a relationship. So this is how faith impacts a relationship. The finance, sexual ethics, and child raising, right? So how you raise your children, right? How your sexual ethics are. Are you cheating? Are you loyal? You know, what are you doing? And also the finances. Finances are a big problem right now that we see in marriages and relationships. People might not talk about this in open, but finances are a big problem. A lot of people are mad how their significant other, their partner, are spending their finances and what they're spending it on. A lot of times you go through someone's phone and see what they're spending money on, they'll be ashamed. You know, that's why a lot of people, like me personally, I don't have to lock my phone. I'm not ashamed of what's in my phone because I know there's nothing crazy in my phone. Right. But this is where spiritual alignment comes in because it's going to keep you from doing things. Right. Now, here's some healthy indicators that whoever you're dealing with, and this is for people who are dating, who are trying to find their mate, or you're with someone, you want to say, hey, Maserati, am I compatible with this person? Like we talked about, do your family values match? Do your religious and spiritual alignment match? Those two so far. We got one more after this, right? So hold on with me. We're almost there, right? But here's some healthy indicators, right? That you guys might match. You share core beliefs and a deep mutual respect for the difference, right? So your core beliefs your core beliefs is doing good and doing right by God and being good and being kind to others, right? And you have a mutual respect for the difference. So I can be a Christian, believe in God, right? And doing right by others. She could be a Muslim and believe in Allah and doing good by others. So we have mutual respect for each other, right? And that's just hypothetical speaking, right? That's not necessarily true, right? That's what I'm saying. That's not my situation. Open dialogue without judgment or pressure. Open dialogue without judgment or pressure. I think what's the new trend online is we listen but we don't judge. It's basically like that, right? Open dialogue without judgment or pressure. So basically what you're trying to say is this, right? We can talk because of spiritual and religious alignment and not judge each other. So we could talk about our past. We could talk about our past trauma. We could talk about our past hurt and not judge each other, not pressure us to say, hey, well, what about this? Hey, what about that? No, we're living in the now. We're not living in the past. We're not living our past hurt. We're not time traveling with our trauma. We're leaving it here. And then when you're aligned spiritually, you have agreed upon approach to raising your kids spiritually, because we live in a world where we have to raise our kids better. So now when you have a spiritual approach to raising your children, your generational curses are broken, right? So those generational curses get broken and you can move on forward in life and live a better life overall, right? Now, what goes up must come down, like I said. What are some red flags? Guys, what are some red flags when your religion and spiritual beliefs don't match? One partner minimizes or mocks the other's beliefs. They joke about it. They threw little hints at it. They say, oh, this and that, right? So when someone mocks your religious beliefs or mocks what you do, it's like, dang, they don't really care, right? Then they have hidden expectations that the other person will change. Like my coworker saying, the dude said he wasn't into God, but he would go to church because they were dating. But he never went because he was only saying that to get what he wanted from it, right? They never went to church, right? That's just what they say, right? Conflict avoidance instead of honest conversation, right? So they avoid conflicts, right? Instead of having honest discussion because their guilt gets to them. So you ever been with somebody and they started cheating or they started doing wrong and they never want to have a conversation about it because their guilt gets to them and they can't just talk about it. They can't just ask for forgiveness because they have no religious or no spiritual compass. So they don't even know how to say, hey, can you just forgive me for this? I messed up. I did wrong, right? Then a lot of people, this is a red flag. This is one of the biggest red flags when it comes to spiritual alignment, right? This is one of the biggest red flags. Power struggles disguised as values. People will have power struggles disguised as values, right? And what you have to understand is a lot of people have fake values and fake core ethics, fake moral, right? And they're going to call it a power struggle. Like, I'm battling a demon. You ever see somebody post online, I'm battling demons right now. I'm at it right now. No, they're not. They're not fucking battling demons, bro. They have no fucking demons. They don't even believe in nothing, right? You know, it's always said, are your beliefs a shared foundation or a silent fracture? So when it comes to that, are your shared beliefs a foundation or a silent fracture? That's what a relationship should be when it comes to that part of it, when it comes to your spiritual and religious alignments. Now we're down to the last part of what makes a compatible relationship, right? And I think this part is kind of tricky because when you go on a date or when you start a relationship with someone and someone talks about this, it gets, now I'm not gonna say cringy or icky. It kind of can't come off the wrong way. And it's called career or life trajectory, right? So where are you at? Where are you trying to go? And what are you trying to do in your life? Are you ambitious? Are you an entrepreneur? Or do you want to work? Do you want to go to the military? Do you want to be a doctor? Do you want to be a lawyer? Do you want to be an advocate for the homeless? What do you want to do with your life? Where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 30 years? How do you plan on getting there? What do you plan on doing when you're 60, when you're 70? What are your life goals? What's the identity of it? What's the time allotted for this? What's your stress exposure? What's the long-term vision? The stress exposure is very key. And what is stress exposure is what is the stress that you're going to see by trying to do this? How stressful is this going to be doing it? Like, what is it going to do mentally, emotionally, spiritually to you as you go on this road for this journey, right? Because a career is not a job, right? A career is not, and I need everybody to understand that right now in the chat. A career is not a job, right? It has identity. It has a time allotted for it. It has stress exposure. It has a long-term vision. Sorry about my words. A long-term vision. So a career is not a job. I have to stress that 100% because people don't understand, like, a job you hop to. A career, you spend time, long hours. You really worked hard for this, and you really value this. And there's a difference between ambition compatibility versus income comparison. So I hope we understand that. Career compatibility over income comparison. So when you meet someone, you're not just saying, I'll make this much, you make this much, we good. Yeah, because I can know. Where are we trying to go? Because we can make this much. We all seen it twice. Well, depending on your age, twice. 2008, when the market crashed, right? No matter who had what or what, people were broke. 2008, people was broke in 2008. Now the recent one, 2020, when it was a lockdown, right? People were broke and basically alone because they were stuck in the house. People that weren't compatible were left alone, right? So when it comes to career, what are your work-life balance expectations, right? When you're dating someone, how do they balance their work life? Do they spend all their time giving it to work? Do they know how to fit you into their schedule? Can they say, I got to do this for work. I can't do this. I got to work. You care more about work than you care about me. What does that mean for them? Because some people will put their whole life in work and put everything else on the back burner. They'll put career first. You have a lot of women that put career first. I'm not knocking it. I'm not judging. What I'm saying is you have a lot of people that say, I'll work now and worry about kids later, or I'll worry about family later. If that's how you feel, find someone who feels the same way too. You got to understand that, and understand this. This is a big, I'm going to say this very slow because I want to say it very clear. I don't want to rush this when I say this. Gender roles and modern career dynamics. Gender roles and modern career dynamics. We live in a time where gender roles really don't exist. Gender roles don't exist. I know some people might not like me saying that. I know some people going to feel a certain type of way, but gender roles really don't exist, right? And that's because we've gotten to a point to where it's like, they're stay-at-home dads and the woman works. There's homes that work 50-50. Whatever floats your boat is what you should be doing. Whatever floats your boat is what you should be doing. Whatever works for your home is what you should be doing. Especially with the career dynamics, because I think there's been a surge in, I think, women going to college and women in upper management. I think there's been like a surge in the last couple of years. I can't give you the exact numbers. I would have to pull it up right now. But there's been a slight surge, right? And so we have to understand that when gender roles come into play with the compatibility in relationships, you don't want to be dating a feminist talking about she got to stay home and cook and watch the kids and watch this. You're like, whoa. She's like, whoa. I don't know what you're trying to hear with all that, right? So you got to know about that. Moving right along. Now, in a relationship, when it comes to the career part, right? Let me ask you guys a question in the chat or whatever. If you're watching replay on YouTube, support versus sacrifice. Whose goals come first and when? So I think it was wait until exhale when she put her boy's career first over hers or whatever. But support versus sacrifice. Whose goals come first and when? So if I'm I'm in law school. The girl I'm dating's in med school. Whose goals come first? Do I support and sacrifice so she can become a doctor and then she takes care of me in this relationship? Or does she sacrifice and supports me to become a lawyer? I might be a high profile lawyer. I might not be a high profile lawyer. Do I support her to be a neurosurgeon? She might not. She might not be. Who supports, who sacrifices in that relationship for compatibility when it comes to career? That's a big question that people don't want to ask on first dates or when they date, because why? It makes it seem like all they care about is money, when it's not really true. It seems like, are we compatible when it comes to career stuff? Like, can I understand you when this is all said and done? Like, where are we going with this? Like, really, where are we going with this in our lives, right? So with that being said, what are some healthy indicators that you're aligned with career goals, right? Respect for each other's ambition. Like, I don't know if this is a good one or not, but like, there's a lot of ladies that are supporting their man who rap, right? And he might not be that good, or he might not be going nowhere with the rap, but she supports him, right? Is that career? Is that respect for each other's ambition? He's respecting that most of the time, whatever she's doing, he respects that because that funds the rap career, or maybe not. I don't know. Is that a healthy indicator? I would say yes. You know, another healthy indicator is clear communication around time, priorities, and financial goals. Meaning you guys are talking about, listen, here's the time span that I want to do this. Here's the time span you want to do this. This is how much we want to have. This is what we want to have when we get it. This is everything we want, right? Willingness to adapt as careers evolve, right? So as one career grows and one stays stagnant, you guys switch off. You know, we got to adapt. Like, being fluid like water in a relationship is key. Being fluid like water in a relationship is key, right? Now, here's some red flags in that a relationship is not compatible, right? On the career side. And these ones, man, I would really, really, really take heed to these, because these ones are like kind of like there, right? And then resentment towards ambition or lack thereof. So in a relationship, in the career factor of compatibility, some people can have resentment that you're either too ambitious or you're not ambitious enough. So someone will be like, oh, well, you don't have no ambition. You're not trying to go out and get it. I work 3 jobs. I got a side business. I'm cool with my little one job. You can't get mad at me because I'm cool with my one job that makes me happy, that fits my lifestyle. I can't get mad at you for going out here being a hustler, right? Financial dependency without transparency. Now, I'm guilty of this. I'm guilty of the financial dependency without transparency. I'm guilty of that. I've done this before. And what this looks like for a lot of men is a man will be doing his own thing, but he needs help from his woman, but he doesn't communicate that. He's not transparent that his girl might make more than him, and she don't know that. She doesn't know that she's outpacing him, but he has to maintain this image. So when he has to borrow money, when he has to ask her to step up, she's like, why? Now he's offended. Oh, why you need? Why? I'm just asking for your help. Why? I'm not trying to, offend you. I just need to know why I need to help you. This and that. What are you spending? It becomes a conversation that most men feel uncomfortable having, when it's really just a conversation, really. You know what I'm saying? So that's a red flag that, you guys are not aligned career-wise. And I've been there. And it stings, bro. And that one stings, bro. That one stings, bro. Another red flag that you guys are not compatible career-wise. This is the sickening one. Competing visions for lifestyle. Stability versus risk. You guys are competing. You get a new car, she get a new car. You go on a trip, she go on a trip. Everything you do, she do. When you're competing in a relationship for lifestyles, that is not cool. Y'all shouldn't be competing in a relationship, Y'all shouldn't be competing in a relationship. That shouldn't even be on your mind. Now, this is the last red flag in a relationship when you guys are not compatible on a career level. Using support as leverage or control. So when your partner supports you in something and they throw that over your head, oh, I supported you. I did this for you. I did this. Like, did you do it for me because you cared? Or did you do it to have something over my head? Or when you ask for some support, like, again, this is not a good example, but I'm going to use the example. If I'm doing this right now, I'm a podcast, so I'm live on TikTok, but I'm also recording a podcast on Twitch, and I'm going to put it on YouTube, right? So I'm a podcast guy, right? I'm building my brand slowly, right? If I'm in a relationship or I'm dating someone and they're reposting my podcast. They're clip farming for me. They're in the chat. They're going up in the chat. And then as soon as I'll get off the podcast, see, I support you all the time. And this, you can't do this, you can't do that. You're leveraging your support as a control mechanism for me. We're not compatible, really. That's a red flag. If I see that, I know that's a red flag, right? So misaligned ambition turns into competition. Always remember that. Misaligned ambition turns into competition. You don't want to be in competition with someone you're supposed to be involved with. You're not going to win like that. It's going to be hard for you to win like that when you're in competition with the person you lay next to. Imagine waking up every day next to a person that hates you. How would that feel? Right? How would that feel? How would that feel to you? It's crazy, right? Who's seen 5 Heartbeats? Whoever seen 5 Heartbeats? Remember Eddie Kane when they was always, and Eddie Kane thought everybody was at his spot? That's competing all day, right? But here's the compound effect when all 3 pillars clash, right? One misalignment can be managed. Multiple misalignments compound conflict, meaning one, like, you can have one off. So y'all can be cool on the religion and family part, but the career part be off, and y'all can be cool. Like, that might work. You can make that work. But when you're with someone and all of the pillars are off, how unresolved differences start surfing during stress, parenting, financial hardship, and crisis. I'm going to tell you the top 2. No, I'm going to give you the top 3 misalignments in a relationship that causes a relationship to fail, to end, or just be toxic. Right? It's stress, parenting, financial hardship. Stress, parenting, financial hardship. Why, you say? It's like this. First, let them go stress. When 2 people are working a job, right? When 2 people are working a job, all that stress from work, the real world, they bring it home. And now they stress their partner out. And if they can't properly communicate because they're not compatible already, right? They're already misaligned. So now that misalignment turns into a stress overload. Now they're just bickering with each other. Now it's just constant because the stress at work, the stress outside, now stress at home. Now, the stress is right there. Now it's a powder keg, right? Now they're on top of the financial hardships. Now they're struggling financially, right? So now you're struggling financially, plus you got stress at work and you're not compatible. This relationship is doomed already now because you're in a relationship with someone you're not compatible with, right? You're stressing at work, stressing at home. Now you got financial hardship thrown on top. So now you're financially stressed, you're stressed at work, and you're not even compatible with this person, right? Now, guess what? You got parenting now. Now you got to parent these kids. The kids might not even be yours. The kids might be yours. But now you're at how you're going to parent these kids. Because if they're not yours and you're taking care of them and you're paying the rent and you're taking care of the household, now you feel like you can discipline these kids. They have to listen to you. But she's telling you, no, they don't. They have a real father. They're not your father. This is not your kids, but this is my house. So now this is all compound. I know there's a whole lot going on right now in this whole scenario. But these are things you got to be careful of when you're in a relationship and you're not compatible with that person, because these things can cause a compound effect of conflict. Right? Now, here's a rapid fire red flag checklist. Repeated arguments with no resolution. If you are with somebody and you got repeated arguments with no resolution, I'm talking about every time you look up like we in an argument and we never resolve it, bro. Y'all are not compatible. Y'all shouldn't even be together. And a lot of people won't leave. I don't know why. I don't know if it just be sex or it just be the fear of being alone. But every time y'all argue, there's no resolution. And then the other one, you're the only one compromising. Only one partner compromise. You always got to compromise. All right, cool, I ain't tripping. Because you don't want to argue, because you don't want to hear their mouth. Because they always guilt tripping you. They always want to make you feel bad. So you got to compromise. Or they're always compromising because you acting like a big baby. You know what I'm saying? If you always got to compromise, they always got to compromise. You guys are not compatible in this compound conflict, right? Also, if you're in a relationship and it feels like you're shrinking to maintain the peace, meaning you can't grow, you can't blossom like how you're supposed to be, meaning you get a new promotion at work, you making money, you come home, babe, I got a new position at work, I'm like the supervisor, I'm making this much. Oh, So what that supposed to mean? You doing this? Dang, like, oh, babe, I just started this business. This is going up. Oh, what that supposed to mean? You got to shrink at home and with your relationship to maintain peace is crazy. You know, or you with someone who always avoids future planning conversations. They always avoid future planning. Like, they don't want to talk about marriage. They don't want to talk about buying a house. They don't want to talk about nothing, right? These are red flags. And my phone's about to die for TikTok. That is crazy. Shout out to TikTok, though. They're the real MVPs, man. Shout out to Twitch, too. We're almost done. We're almost done, though, right? And I say all this to say, bro, like, I learned a lot of these talking points from just having bad relationships and understanding why they didn't work. Like, in hindsight, it's 2020 vision. Like, understanding that compatibility is not rigid. It's intentional. So being compatible is not rigid. It's intentional. So what that means is when I go into a situation, I date intentional. So I have to sit back when I talk to a person. I'm not telling them the 3 pillars. I'm observing the 3 pillars. Hey, how's so who's your family? Okay, how many people in your family? You got brother, you got sister, okay. You cool with your mom? Okay. You don't talk to your dad? Okay, cool. I get it. Okay, cool. That's me being intentional. And hold on, fellas. Because I don't want fellas going off my word, right? And twisting what I say mentally. Red flags are not flaws. They're information, right? So when I tell you this is a red flag, it's not a flaw. It's just information. So when I say you're not compatible with somebody and that's a red flag, it's not a flaw. It's really information you're getting from the person and you're kind of growing to know them, right? So I want to understand that, right? You know, in I feel like love without alignment becomes endurance. So love without alignment is just like endurance. You're just there. You're just there. You're not even loving it. You're just there, right? And the reason I say that is if you're really, really, really aligned with someone that you're in love, it feels easy. You know how you got to endure something. You know how endurance is. You know, like you got to build your endurance up because you're out of breath. You're like, man, I got to build my endurance up. So you got to build up to do it. Build up to do it. But you know when you worked out and it's coming with so much ease because your alignment is on. When you align with someone, everything comes with ease. Your love comes for ease. Talking to them comes with ease. You want to be there every day with ease because you love this person. Because you guys are aligned, right? Because relationships thrive when the values move in the same direction. Your relation, and I'm not talking about not just like a loving relationship. I'm talking about even friendships, family. Relationships thrive when they move in the right direction together. And they say, just like a river flows in the right direction, it's not choppy. That's how friendships, relationships thrive if they move in the same direction, right? Now, with that being said, like I told you, the reason why this came up is because a coworker told me something. And I gave her the same response I'm telling you guys is the 3 pillars of any compatible relationship. I'm not saying a good relationship. I'm saying compatible is family, religion, and career. Those are 3 compatible pillars in a relationship. When I say compatible, I mean you guys are compatible, right? Just because you guys are compatible don't mean it's going to be a good relationship. Don't mean it's going to last forever. It just means you're compatible. That means you have like-minded views, like-minded characteristics, like-minded values and morals. And you guys are probably going in the same direction. Hence why lawyers marry lawyers, doctors marry doctors, et cetera, right? So I want to thank everybody for coming on TikTok because my phone's finna die. I got to go. Hold on. My phone is about to die out. It's crazy. That's crazy. My phone's about to die. Yep. So anyway, Twitch, we're here. And so the reason why I'm charging this up, the reason why I chose this topic, right, is because of the conversation at work, right? And so a female coworker that told me, like, you know, as I told you guys before, that she dumped the dude because they just didn't match, right? And so phone's charging. And so I was just like, I was telling her straight up, like, if you're not compatible, then what are you doing? If you're not compatible, then what are you doing? Like, how do you have a conversation with this person? What do you guys talk about when you're talking? What is it you're talking about? How are you talking? Like, where do you find solace in each other? Like, how do you comfort each other when you guys not talking about the same thing? Especially when it comes to family, religion, and career. FRC. Now, beyond that, what else is going on out in the world? What are we talking about, man? Some new music dropped. Let's talk about this new music that dropped. We can't play none of it because then YouTube will block it. But let's talk about some of this new music that dropped. I, on the other hand, I'm staying out of trouble online. I haven't had too much trouble online. I've been doing pretty good. Actually, let's see how this stream is doing. This is actually, I'm on the new internet, so let's see. I want to do a 24-hour stream because we're in the room now. I can just, oh, that thing clear. That thing crispy. That thing crispy. I need to learn how to play video games. But nah. So man, my week was good. So we got some new music. Let's see how we got new music from. We got some new music, new drops. Let's see, new drops. We got new releases from 21 Savage. What happened to the streets? Friday. Everybody got somebody. Money Man, Predator, Jacquees, Christmas in Decatur. Honcho for her 2 Deluxe. Buka 600, Sanctuary. Buka. Nas and DJ Premier. I heard that Nas and DJ Premier went up. Ella Rosa, Shy Glizzy, Little Bean, Fat Pat, TM88. I want to hear that one. Conway the Machine, Just Huss. Let me see anybody else we know. Black Boy Max again. This is the one everybody talking about, The Game. A Gangsta Grill. They said The Game drop. Y'all still listening to The Game? Nah, bro. But I've been chilling, man. Got the hat by the embroidery chef. There's been a lot of weird stuff going online too. Hey, so look, I'm doing this app. Right here, I'm gonna show you this app. Little app trying to learn Spanish. Y'all want to see me learn Spanish? Hold on. Soy. Mujer. Hombre. Yo. So I gotta match the pairs, right? I'm learning Spanish. So right, listen. Soy is I am, I think. Mujer is woman. I knew I got that right. Hombre is man. So soy and yo always gets me. So I think soy is soy I or soy. Hold on. I know I was wrong.
El niño, la niña.
El niño, la niño.
El niño, la niña.
The boy, the girl. That was right.
El niño.
El niño. So me trying to work on my Spanish, reason because I'm going to Spain for my birthday in May. So I want to be able to talk at least a little bit to him. You feel me? You feel me, Brusky? So I gotta be able to do something, right? El niño, la niña. El niño, la niña.
Yo soy una mujer.
Yo soy una mujer. I am a woman. Got it right. Soy una mujer. Yo soy una mujer. I am a woman. That's good.
El mujer.
Oh, it's la mujer. Niño. Mujer. Mujer. Hombre.
Yo.
Yo. Soy. Soy. Soy.
Soy.
Yo. 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 So that's it. So normally I'm supposed to do that for like 15 minutes a day. And that's supposed to help me learn Spanish, but as you see, it's going off. Hey, so look, check this out. Figured out me like, look. So the reason why I did the yes, I haven't had a haircut. Yes, no haircut for me. Yes, I haven't had it. I don't know if I'm growing my hair back or not. So look, check this out, right? And I'm just gonna give y'all some free game. Not free game. I'm gonna tell y'all like about my life, right? So these y'all ladies are just very interesting creatures. I love you to death. I love you to death, but y'all just wow.
Capital P for real.
Sensational.
Ladies are sensational because, fellas, if you think you're the only one she's talking to, you're fucking crazy, bro. It's not even gonna be one of them type of streams because I'm about to get off. I'm only on here talking crap right now, but the level of just delusional, the delulu, as they say, that makes you think that I think I'm the only one you talk to is crazy. Like, I even expect you to be talking to multiple people. Like, that's what I expect because y'all couldn't even talk to one person if your life depended on it. Like, y'all couldn't even tell the truth if your life depended on it. Like, it's not even something that y'all could do. I don't even feel like it's even in y'all like genetics because it's just not there. I don't think so. What do you guys think, chat? I don't think so. Me personally, and that's just me. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be an a-hole, but will you marry? That is not a ring, by the way. Don't. It's a pin. Don't think it's a pin. See, it's a pin. Don't be thinking nothing crazy out there. Oh, this candle is smelling great. I forgot what it is, but it smells great. I got another candle that I need to light too. But bro, I've been eating horrible too. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I've been eating horrible. Bro, I had Taco Bell last night. Wasn't supposed to have that. But we about to get up out of here, man. Hey, listen. I should be posting this tonight, but thank y'all for coming. Shout out to TikTok too. Hey, listen. If you're in the content space, start over. New Year, start at TikTok. They actually interact at TikTok. They actually do views. Instagram is dying slowly. TikTok.